All right, hey guys, I'm going to be trying to get started on time, right? I don't think, much to some of your disappointment, I don't think it'll be the full hour, right? But so my presentation today is on design, okay? So do me a favor. I know we're all creatures of habit. Just take your phone, either put it away, put it face down, like just be present, right? You know, let's just be present in the moment. My name's Shawn Andrews. A little bit about me. I'm from Marysville, Ohio. I'm happily married. I got 2 kids. If you want to really offend your teachers, right? This happened to me about a year and a half ago. They said, Coach, when did you graduate high school? I said, 1996. They go, oh, the late 1900s? And I realized they weren't wrong. They weren't wrong, but it was, man, like that never made me feel so old as to think that I graduated in the late 1900s, okay? I've spent the last 25 years in coaching, wrestling in college, coaching in college for a couple of years, and been doing high school and club and Team Ohio stuff since. So before we get started, Ohio, you two specifically are not allowed to answer, and really our other Ohio guys don't answer, right? But there are 2 global companies in Marysville, Ohio. Does anybody know what they are? It's okay if you don't, all right? Anybody ever heard of Scott's Corporation, like grass seed fertilizer? All right, OM Scott's Corporation's in Marysville, Ohio. And the other one is Honda of Marysville, or Honda America, right? One of their major hubs is in Marysville, Ohio, manufacturing, engineering, things like that. So they're really big on design. Our school's really big on design, right? So my presentation today is around designing a better version of you, right? The whole purpose of design is this constant cycle, right? It never ends. I was talking to somebody else earlier, right? Like your wrestling evolution never really ends, right? You think you've learned something and then something else, wrestling evolves. You learn a new technique, a new position. Someone puts you in a position you didn't know how to get out of, right? So it's this constant evolution. So the focus today is going to, we're designing something, we're going to build something, right? And then you're going to test that out. You're going to review, like, hey, how'd that go? And then you're right back to the design phase. So Honda, right? They design these concepts cars like a lot of other companies, all right? So I'm going to hit the lights just for this. Yeah. I don't know if you can see that. So that looked better when you could see the screen a little better. Right? It's a little dark in here, okay? But I picked cars. 1, a little nod to where I live, but 2, how many of you either have your driver's license or are going to get a driver's license? How many of you have a car or are going to get a car, right? So we all have a point of reference of what a vehicle is, okay? So design the perfect car. You have in front of you, right? It's 2-sided. You didn't get a copy. Anybody else need a copy of this? All right. Now, some of you are artistic in nature. Maybe you are inspired by some sleek Lamborghini, whatever. Maybe you want an old classic pickup truck. Maybe you're an off-roader, right? But you can draw it. You can use the bullet points. Like, what is the perfect car? I will tell you, as much as I've been really lucky, 4 of the guys I've coached with have been engineers at Honda. And their initiative, it sounds very boring to me, is to develop a car that is impossible to wreck, right? Their goal is that you buy Honda car XYZ, you drive it, you don't ever actually own it, and after 5 years, you trade it in and you get another one. It's like Netflix. Like you never own the vehicle, but the safety technology is so good that it's impossible to wreck it. Now, they're years away from that. That's part of their new concepts, right? So that is not exciting for people when thinking visually about a car, but safety is a part of it, right? So if you could design the perfect car, what would it be? Take 2 minutes. Draw it, bullet point it out, write it out, whatever it is. All right, what would be the perfect car to you? All right, what are some of the things? Because obviously this is just a brief part of today. So tell me about your perfect car. Anybody?
Working airbags.
Yeah. Force field. What's the force field do? No damage, okay? What else? Permanently inflated tires, solid tire. Okay.
Carbon fiber. It will like stop if you don't have like any hands on the wheels.
Okay, so there's some safety features. You take your hands off the wheels, it stops or slows down, or hopefully it doesn't stop. Like if you're going 90 miles an hour, you know, like.
Slow down.
Okay. All right. Yeah. All right. A different type of fuel economy, whether that's electric, solar, hydrogen, whatever it is, something that's not and more financially efficient. What else? Yeah. I like it. You've seen the Jetsons. Okay. What else? Yeah. Anybody else? Yeah. Heated massage seats. You can fall asleep while you're driving. Yeah. So you want to drive an RV, just smaller. Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, like a self-wake-up.
Self-wake-up machine. Hold your eyelids open for you. Okay. Anything else? Yeah. Snack dispenser. Okay. All right. Yeah. Self-driving, autonomous. We're not that far off. Actually, in our hometown, they have what's called a smart corridor where they're testing consistently autonomous semi-trucks. So they have someone in the car in case it's not working, but they're sitting there, hands off the wheel, just going up and down this corridor, testing, can they get trucks to drive themselves? So it's not as far off as you think. Anything else? Ejector seats. Okay. All right. Yeah. Trash incinerator. Okay. All right. What about color? Anybody pick color? Light purple, black, light blue, green and black. I mean, you're designing the perfect car, right? You guys know that red cars cost more to insure? You guys know that? That red cars cost more to insure. They cost more in your car insurance. All right. We did that part. All right. So switching gears, okay? You got a half sheet of paper here, okay? I think there are 16 wrestlers. Let's see how many you can get correct, all right? So just write the name, okay? Some of these are easy. Some of them are more challenging. Okay. I think there's 16. This is number 1, okay? Number 1, write it down if you're participating, okay? Yes. All right, number 2. Well, I'm not going to check for spelling, so as long as you know what it is. We're talking about the wrestler in blue. Okay. Yeah. Number 3. Some of these are easy, they get harder. Who is that? This is number 4.
That's not Travell.
Did you say Travell? Did you say you're offended? Yeah. All right. One, 2, 3, 4. This is number 5. Okay. Number 6.
Shoot.
All right, this was 6. Anybody need time? Okay, 7.
That's 6 or 7.
This is 7. Again, we're not testing for spelling. All right. Number 8.
That's my uncle. That's my great uncle. You're still on number 4?
Okay. 8. Number 9.
Oh, yeah. Dude. I know. How do you spell that? How do you spell that?
Carefully.
Yeah. I think I did it.
Some of these have more of a one-name feel, but if you want to go the full name, we'll give you credit. All right. Next. Brutus?
Yeah.
All right, next. Yeah, that was strategically placed, right? Yeah, we got 6 to go, I think. All right.
We left America, so
That's okay. Listen, not everybody's going to know everybody. There's a couple real challenging ones at the end. So. Yeah, it says Cuba on his shirt. It is singlet. He is the Cuban. You are correct. There was not a singlet trade yet. Olympic. 5-time Olympic champ.
Guy next to him, that's his training partner for the last few years. Wanted to go to the Olympics.
That's wild. All right. This is 16, 15, 14. I know there's one person who knows this because I was in here earlier and they didn't know who that was. Yeah, he did. All right.
She like just won the
All right, Yao Ming. All right. Definitely. Anybody know this one? It's not Les Gutches. So there's a very famous tournament in Russia that is named after him.
Can we just go last name?
All right, we're going to go back to the beginning. All right, so just keep track of the number you have correct. Okay, so just put a slash if you got it correct. So number 1 is Kyle Snyder. Number 2, Cale Sanderson. Number 3, John W. Smith. Number 4, Dave Schultz. Number 5, Jordan Burroughs. Amita Lohr. Helen Maroulis. Van Gable. What's his first name? There we go. Abdul Rashid Sajalayev. Rulon Gardner, who beat previously unbeaten Karelin. Okay? Yazdani.
His last name's Lopez.
Mian Lopez. 5 Olympic gold medals. He's got a singlet somewhere with his face all over. It's wild. All right. Buvasar Satiev just passed away. Yep.
Sayori Yoshida.
Yoshida. That's who Helen beat in the 2016 Olympics. All right. She was previously thought of as unbeaten. She had won. Yep. She was going for her 4th Olympic gold. It was her, yeah. All right. And then, anybody know famous Russia tournament? Ivan Urigan. There we go. All right. Anybody get 16? You got 16, Kyle? Okay. 15? 14? All right. 13? Okay. Who got 10 or better? Put your hand up. Okay. All right. So, all right. here's the thing, guys, right? What I love about how wrestling has continued to change is that our access to information is unlike any in the history of our sport. So we can go back and watch some of those guys, right? We can see their film. We can watch how they wrestle. Not just those guys, current guys, right? Like it's access to information like never before. And every one of those are all-time greats, and they all wrestled differently. They're all built differently, right? And that's what I love about, I love and hate. I was talking earlier, I love and hate. Wrestling is infinitely variable, right? Like every time you think you mastered it, there's something else you can work on, right? So just like I asked you to design up the perfect car, flip it over, design the perfect wrestler. All right, so what are the things that would be included to make the absolute best wrestler that you can imagine? Okay, so again, if you're artistic and you want to draw someone with their six-pack and big muscles and long limbs and whatever, go for it. But I'm thinking more of you probably down here on the bullet points, right? What are the things that make someone the best wrestler? All right, I don't care if it's with the person sitting next to you, groups of 4, get together, right? Create kind of a shared list where, hey, everybody had fast, everybody had flexible, right? So create a shared list of these qualities, and we're going to share those out as a group, okay? So talk to someone near you. Let's go. Hey, we're just going to kind of rotate around the room. I kind of point to a group. You give me a quality that wasn't already identified. So if we get over here, you guys might be further down your list. We'll just keep going around until we exhaust all of the qualities that make the perfect wrestler. So someone here in the front. Coachable. Okay, right behind him. Behind him, yeah. Okay, behind him. Louder.
Good
Stamina, okay. All right. All right, over in the corner. Okay, back over here, back row. Hold on, we'll get to you. Back row. Goal driven. Okay, now you got one. Mat awareness. Okay, coming up. Grip. Okay, something up here.
Leverage.
Okay, over here. What was it? Strength.
Agile.
Position.
Leverage.
Hold on. Okay, we're doubling back. If everything's up here, you can say pass.
Okay, small head, real little head, so you can get a headlock, but a big brain.
Big study.
I'm gonna go whatever he said. What was that? Quick study? Like a quick learner? Okay. Small head.
Real smart.
Big brain. Okay. Second row. Anything that isn't up here? Hey, do me a favor. Take a look at I know my body was in the way. Take a look at what's up here. We're working on our way back around the way we came. So anything that's not up here? I would say fast is probably under speed. Okay. All right, back here. How tall are you? How much you weigh? Oh, I thought you were going to say. Okay, behind. Anything else not on the list? You guys said like speed and agility. Okay, yeah. Somewhere over here. Go ahead. Explosive. Yeah.
High tech.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Stamina. Anything that's not on the list, yeah. I'm going to go growth mindset. Yeah. I like that. Creative. Good looking. Incredibly good looking, yes. What? Chain? It's not. Tattoos, yep. Did you say flexibility? Somebody over here? You said flexibility, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Explosive? I think we got that one. Explosive, yeah. Small head, big brain. We'll just focus on the big brain part of it. All right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we got perseverance and determination. So let's move on here for a second. Humility. Okay. Okay. So I think that's a pretty good list. Okay. So let's flip the script. Use the back side of that paper, the scrap paper that was that you used for trying to see which wrestlers you knew. Okay. What will get your, if this is what's perfect, right? If this is the perfect wrestler, right? What will get in the way of you becoming that perfect wrestler and you and your team reaching your goals in the next 12 months? Right? Yeah, you can't get Kamal Bay's hips, right? And obviously injury could be a part of that. So let's take injury off the table. Okay? But realistically, you've all been around athletes. You've endured some things yourselves, right? What are the things that derail people from becoming that perfect or better version of themselves? Right. How many of you, right, does your list look like this? All right, so some common answers, right, are things like selfishness, decision-making, and think about how maybe what you have in front of you is synonymous with some of these things. Team chemistry, outside distractions, lack of toughness, lack of trust, negativity, entitlement, and lack of desire. All right. So how many of you have something similar? Doesn't mean you have the whole list. Anybody have something similar to what's on this list? Okay. So what do you have that's not on the list? Yeah. Okay. Poor nutrition. I could connect that to decision making, but yeah, you're right. Attitude in the practice room. What kind of attitude in the practice room will be negative? Okay. So kind of that entitlement, maybe lack of desire, right? I'm not saying we have to fit everything in here. I just want to see if our answers are similar to what's up here. Yeah. Laziness, right? Lack of toughness and desire. Lack of discipline. Skipping practice, which again, I think decision making, right? Yeah. Negativity. What do you mean by that? Okay. Not focused on improvement. Yeah. So if you have team chemistry, you're right, is an ambiguous statement. Negative team chemistry could keep you from reaching your goals. So if it's, hey, I'm not willing to practice with this guy, or I create problems with this person, or I'm bringing other teammates down. Like when I'm thinking about what prevents it, it's that negative team chemistry. Yeah.
Like being content or ungrateful.
Yeah. So when I talk to our teams, I talk about entitlement as the opposite of gratitude. right? So gratitude's important. Entitlement's the cancer to gratitude. Yeah. Too cool, right? Worried about image, right? And what that looks like. Yeah. Lack of self-belief. Okay.
Like negative self-talk with the attitude of like, I lost, I suck, instead of like, what can I do better?
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah.
Bad crowd.
Bad crowd. Like you're
hanging out with like the wrong people.
Yeah. Hanging out with the wrong people. I thought you meant like people were booing you like at a tournament or something, you know. All right, yeah. So negative peer group, right? Negative peer influence. So here's the thing, right? And I think about this in the same way I think about how many of you have heard that, you know, wrestling is 10% physical and 90% mental, or some mathematical equation like that, right? We say that the people say that all the time, how important the mental side of sport is. But we devote very little time to the mental component generally as a sport, right? We don't commit, unless you're a part of a program or a coach who really buys into it, we don't do enough. We definitely don't spend 90% of our time on the mental part of it. It might be flipped, right? If you're lucky, it's 90% physical and 10% mental. And I think the same thing's true with character, right? So, a stack of papers. Take one of these, pass them. Thanks, Coach. Yep. Pass these around that way. Okay. So, character, right? Designing the best version of you is not just about single legs. It's not just about the technique. I am not diminishing everything else you have on this list. Okay? But when you think about the things on your negative list, right? What are things that counteract that, right? And coaches, if you like character education stuff, this is from Brent Ledbetter's What Drives Winning. Coach Roselli made that a book recommendation, so he's got some really good stuff. But, yeah, Brett Ledbetter, What Drives Winning. He's got a series of books, podcasts, videos, short clips, okay? But, so I took this from him. You know, there's very few original ideas in the world. This is absolutely taken from him, okay? I want you to think about what's on the list that could hold you back, right, on your list. And if you were to try to flip it, what's the antonym? What's the opposite? What's the thing? If you worked on this component, that would help you avoid that pitfall, right? So we're taking, here are the negative character traits, right? Here are the things that might keep us from our goal. These distractions, lack of toughness, lack of trust, negativity. And here are things that if we were intentional, right, in terms of performance, hardworking, competitive, positive, focused, accountable, courageous, resilient, confident, enthusiastic, disciplined, motivated, creative, right? Some of you said some of those things. Curious. What of those things would make you a better wrestler and better person 365 days from now? Okay, obviously all of them.
So it's not what we are right now.
No, it's if you were going to pick some, right? What would it be? And then the same thing, right? We want to focus on performance. We want to focus on being competitive and competing, right? It's okay to love wrestling and hate losing. So this first column, these are the things that we often jump to that are performance values, performance morals. And I put, you know, how Brett Ledbetter describes what hardworking is, what competitive is. You feel free to look at that, okay? But the other piece is the moral side of character. One of my things that I love about wrestling now is I feel like good character has also been brought to the forefront. Doesn't mean that there aren't knuckleheads out there, right? But what we see, at least I see at the college level, is that generally the guys who are exhibiting positive human moral qualities are also having success on the mat. There was a time, probably before your generation of coaches, where it was like sometimes the biggest knuckleheads, meatheads, jerks were having success because they were just meaner than everybody else, right? And they didn't care, and they were very selfish, and they were all the opposite. Now I think we're seeing a growth of this, hey, you can be a good human and be good at wrestling, okay? So pick 3 to 5 on the moral side of things that you think, if this was true about you, you'd be a better wrestler 365 days from now and a better person. Unselfish, honest, respectful, appreciative, humble, patient, loyal, trustworthy, trust-willing, encouraging, caring, socially aware, and empathetic. Yes? Where did the paper stop? You guys get them? Anybody else need one? So he decides understanding signals that are sent and received, like perceiving your teammates, how they act, and like knowing when to like build up and when to push your teammates. I would say pick 3 to 5 from each. Okay, and here's why. So I don't know about all of you, right? Our folk style season just finished up. Okay, and as a coach, one of my favorite and least favorite parts of the end of a season is the banquet. Okay, and the reason why that's my favorite and least favorite part is I'm inevitably going to not say enough about somebody, or something that I'm going to say is going to be offensive, or someone's going to take, oh, I like Jimmy better than this guy, you know, and that's never my intent, right? So here is the last thing, and I know maybe some of you aren't writers, okay, but on the back side of this, all right, using the things you checked here, what would you want your coach or teammates to say about you 365 days from now? How can you take these 6 to 10 words and put them in what your coach might say about you at the banquet, right? Like, you got to have a goal. Someone said goal-driven, right? For these character elements, what do you want others to say about you as a wrestler and by extension, or I'm sorry, as a person and by extension a wrestler, right? Reggie Calhoun Jr.? Yeah, yesterday he said wrestling comes to an end for all of you, right? You don't want to be remembered just as the guy who was really good at wrestling. At least I don't think that's where you want to limit yourself, right? So how can you take the 3 to 6 words that you check marked and put them into a speech or something that someone would say about you? Like, how can you make that aspirational, okay? I'm not going to ask you to share that out because that's kind of personal, but if you want to share it, go for it with people sitting near you. Okay, I want to be respectful of everyone's time, right? Everybody writes at a different pace, okay? How many of you believe if the things on this list, if you improve these areas, how many feel like you would be a better person 365 days from now? Okay. How many believe if you improved the things on this list, you'd be a better wrestler 365 days from now? Okay. That gets lost sometimes in our hyper focus to chase the toughest opponents, the best camps, the best partners, the best clubs, right? It's easy to become hyper focused on the wrestling side of this sport. Okay. And every person, I hate saying this, every person in here is one injury, right? One bad situation from wrestling being taken from them, right? So it can't just be about being the best wrestler on the mat, okay? Continue to focus on, yeah, that mentality stuff matters, okay? Character, like who you are as a person matters. And not just because it's going to make you feel better about yourself. I genuinely believe, I wouldn't be up here talking about it, I genuinely believe that if you are embodying some of these traits, it's not just going to make you a better person and a better teammate. You're going to be a better wrestler because of it, okay? It's not enough just to say it. I challenge you to think about, just like you write down your goals, you have a plan for improving your wrestling. Have a plan, right? Keep some of these things in the forefront of your mind. What are you doing to become more focused, more humble, more resilient, more courageous, right? Yeah, thank you for your time, guys. Appreciate it.